2006 in the Bahamas under the CaRAPN project, and that is the Caribbean Agriculture Regional Policy Network, a project of the ICA and the CTA. We decided that we needed to have some kind of engagement, not just talking among ourselves, but talking with other stakeholders. We also recognize the media as a very important partner in the process of bringing the word out in terms of agriculture. And therefore, we thought we needed to have an event or a dialogue platform that would allow us to engage the media directly, and the media engage us, the technicians, the policymakers, the stakeholders of the sector, in terms of bringing out information. And the information we wanted to bring out was positive information. We also wanted to clarify technical issues so that the ordinary man can understand what we, the policymakers, and the other people are dealing with when we make decisions. So the ART evolved from 2006 in the Bahamas. The second one was in 2008 in St. Vincent, and this is the third one. So it looks like by default it's every 2 years. So that might be the case. In 2008, this platform changed from the one in 2006, where we had a workshop-type media engagement. And in 2008, we had more like a, if you want to call it a talk show type dialogue, open dialogue type of engagement. And we found this format was much more suitable to open dialogue and communication. One of our rules in the ART is that everybody can say, has something to say. We don't have any pre-planned papers, presentations, or speeches, because we want as open a dialogue as possible. We also want to make sure that there are questions that you need to ask. Do not feel intimidated to ask them, because there are things that you need to know, and the panelists will be fully engaged in terms of providing you the information from their perspective. And you're also allowed to provide your own perspective. We're going to have moderators for the session. It will be mostly the media, but if we don't have we have a shortfall of media, so I may back up. The media will essentially introduce the panel, introduce the topic, and they will speak about it. And then the panelists will be asked to give their own perspective for a couple of minutes, and then we'll engage the dialogue. So it's not something that is a very formal and pre-organized event. It is something that allows for very open communication. You can interject, you can basically give your 2 cents, whatever you feel the need to in terms of burning issue. I would like to ask Mr. Fonseca, who is the program manager for the project I spoke about, the CaRAPN project, to give you a few words in terms of his own perspective on the ART and the CTA's supported process thus far. And just to clarify, this is not an opening ceremony, we're just putting the ART in perspective.
Good morning. There is a major injustice in the world. While I have to look for words in English, Diana Francis is able to say so many in the shortest period of time. So please be patient with me, because I'm still struggling with your language, which is not spoken in my own country, Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. I'm pleased to be in the Caribbean once again. When I come here, I feel Caribbean. Actually, before I open my mouth, people think I'm one of yours. They think I'm made from St. Lucia or Antigua. Good morning, Kentish. Steve Maxime or Barbados. But I'm pleased to be here again, as CTA is very pleased to be here. And CTA has been cooperating with ICA, CARDI and others to organize this type of events, because we came to the conclusion that if agriculture has to play a role in food security in this region and in the ACP regions in general, and to the economies of these regions, we have to have everybody on board. Not only those who have studied agriculture, not only those who have earning from agriculture. That's why we provide support to ICA and CARDI and the journalists, the ACM, the Association of Caribbean Media Workers, to organize for the first time a meeting in the Bahamas, where we had policy people and media people talking to each other in a structured way. This is how the concept of ART started. And now, not only in this region, but also in other ACP regions, meaning Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific, we have the same movement. And this has helped other people to learn from this region, to get inspired from this region. Let me say a few words on my own perspective on uncertainties. Yes, we live in a world of uncertainties, that's very sure. But uncertainties can lead to action. They can also lead to inaction, it depends. If you are optimistic, you see problems as opportunities for action. If you are pessimistic, you say, well, problems are there, we can't solve them. This is for others to solve those problems. because we are too weak to do so. And when you talk about uncertainties here in this Caribbean week of agriculture, it's because we are optimistic. It's because we think that every problem brings with it a number of solutions. However, globalization can be good, can be very bad. A very good friend of mine told me once, the only thing worse than globalization is to ignore it. It's the same thing with climate change. There is nothing worse than climate change than ignore it. But if you put all your resources and attention on climate change and climate change impacts, you are not doing anything for your own countries and regions. And this is one major message from the work we have been doing with ICA, with the Caribbean Agricultural Policy Network, which has been established a few years ago with support of CTA, because this is what we try to do from CTA's perspective. What we try to do is to be part of the initiatives which take place in the various regions and countries, and not that you are part of our own initiatives where we are based in Wageningen, Holland. This is a major difference, and that's why we try to push from behind instead of telling you what you should do. In doing so, we feel very comfortable with being proactive in very specific fields, because we know that you know that we are not here to impose our views on you, our knowledge of views. Another thing we try to do is to broker exchanges between the various ACP regions, also in terms of youth, jobs, climate change, and so on, so that you can learn from each other. The solutions may be different, but the problems may look similar. We had provided for a good friend and a very knowledgeable person from Southern Africa to be here today, but she could not make it for some problems with flights. We hope she will be here tomorrow to give some perspective on policy-making processes in Southern Africa on the very issues you have on your program for these 2 days. Before I close my remarks, let me say just a few words about people we work with. Diana Francis, first and foremost, you say in English. Sometimes she's in a low, sometimes I'm always say, but we keep working together, because we have been in a minority position. When we started bringing policy people and media people together, people told us, but these people don't understand each other. They don't speak the same language. They don't have the same interest. We say, yes, it may be true, but let's make sure these people, these media people, become part of the agricultural commodities. So they understand they have to fight with us to improve agriculture, to make sure agriculture plays its role in the economic development. And this went through various difficult periods, and now we see that things are taking place. And this is partly, and to a large extent actually, because Diana believed in it, because Arlington Chesney of ICA in those days, and now Cardi, believed in those approaches. We are going to see many more challenges, but I'm sure that Caribbean Agricultural Policy Network, which has just developed a new strategic plan, will be there to serve as a think tank for all of you. Thank you again for having me and having us here, and I give the floor back to Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Fonseca.